Hello, and welcome back. In this one, we are going over episode 12 of Season 2 of TSUKIMICHI Moonlit Fantasy, and as always, we are going to be reviewing, analyzing, and reacting to all the good stuff we found in this one. Now, this episode, a bit same as the last one, felt more like a laid-back episode, while still having some very interesting plot points that I really want to delve into. The big one definitely being Sofia's background story, and getting way more info on the Dragon-Slayer as a whole. But before we get into that, I want to talk a bit about the students of Makoto and how they have been growing over this summer vacation in episode 12, and how we start to get some more information about each student, at least the blue-haired one specifically in this case, and how it all connects to the grander scheme of things. First of all, I would like to say that I do like how the show is taking not a ton of time, but some time. For example, in this episode, having Mir, I think her name is, and the blue-haired boy, sorry, I forget the name of, having this just drink out and having some human-to-human interaction and just really showcasing the students, characters, friends, I suppose, at this point, having this more of a human connection between them and connecting on just a human level, not just showing them as students, but trying to flesh them out as individual characters as well, which is, of course, a good thing. We do get some slight backstory on Mir and why she isn't home for the holidays. She's a scholarship student, same as this blue-haired boy, but apparently she doesn't have any family back home, which is why she is still at the school training. Of course, the main interesting part of the interaction between the students in this episode is the blue-haired boy here. And yes, it's fine if you want to say in the comments his name and lambaste me for not remembering it, but he explains to us that he was from this village, the same village as Sofia, or Miranda, as she was called back then. And she was basically just like a extremely powerful human, even though she might not be. Get more into that later. But she was very, very powerful, was an orphan, and she just took care of monsters and whatnot that she had to do in the village. And he formed an attachment to her, and she was his first love, apparently. But he made a mistake, and after seeing how she handled a chimera, powerful monster in its own right, he called her a monster, and that is when she ran away. And of course, that is something he regrets and something he wants to make up for. But that also really goes into building up his character motivation of he wants to become strong and powerful so that not only he can find Sofia, aka Miranda, to apologize to her for what he did, but also to be powerful enough that, maybe he can be with her, question mark. Anyhow, though, just setting it up and setting up that character motivation, I found to be good. Because, obviously it's very nice whenever a show takes a bit of time, even if it's just a small bit of time, to try to flesh out the motivations of each character and why they are doing what they're doing, making, them more expansive, more detailed, more in-depth, and just putting sense to why they are doing the things they are doing in this world. At the end of the episode as well, was of course nice to see the students working together to kill this demi-dragon, as it were, and seeing how much they have grown over this summer break. And as well, of course, again, just showcasing the ever-growing building connection between the characters and cooperation and whatnot as they keep becoming stronger and better. Now, to move into Sofia, the big meat of this episode, in my opinion, and how much info we got on the origins of the Dragon-Slayer, even though, of course, still a lot remains a mystery. At least for us anime-only viewers. If you're a manga or light novel person, then good on you. But of course, no spoilers. I will bonk you real hard. So, when we hear this story from the student, it makes it seem that Miranda, aka Sofia, was just an orphan. But we find that at the end of the episode, when she is back at this abandoned mage's workshop for whatever reason, that no, she found out there that she wasn't human, or maybe she was, but anyhow, she was still created by Luto, this somewhat pervy dragon we met a few episodes back. And I assume because of this, she harbors a lot of hate, not just for Luto, but apparently every single greater dragon in existence. And that is assumingly why she is so dead set on destroying not just Luto, but every single greater dragon. Destroying and killing and getting rid of every single greater dragon in existence. And why that has been such a deep set goal for her and motivation for her. Didn't really know much about her character or her motivations before this point, but after what we saw in this episode, we can definitely somewhat make an assumption that, okay, she had a tough childhood, she was an orphan, she probably had a very hard time with everything from a young age, and I assume that when she found out that Luto made her, and assumably just abandoned her to her fate, she has a lot of resentment towards that, not being cared for, not being provided for, being thrown into the world with no rhyme or reason, no support, just having to fend for herself, and how that can definitely create some, daddy issues or just relationship complexes in general, and how that, of course, in the end can also turn into hate. A lot of hate. Murderous hate in this case, which of course makes sense with then why she wants to do the very bad things she wants to do to the greater dragon species as a whole. Why exactly she wants to do this? Well, of course, as I said, the reasons might just be simple in terms of her hating Luto and every single greater dragon because of what he did to her, or what she perceives he did to her. But I can imagine also that because of her existence, so to speak, she might want to destroy every single greater dragon because perhaps she views them as beings that almost think they are gods. They can do whatever they want without consequence, but that she wants to actually, let's say, bring consequences to things to maybe balance things out somewhat in this world. But those are just some, loose theories. We still have a lot of info we don't know about Sofia, only her childhood, briefly, but we have no info on what exactly happened to her after she ran away from her village, or how she became part of the demon army, etc, etc. I assume she also has a lot of hate for the human population, due to how she was treated as an orphan and being made and forced to do all these different difficult things, and probably was shunned and not really cared for by the humans in that settlement either, which would explain somewhat why she ended up joining the demon army and why she has no love for her fellow humans. Another interesting comment we got outside of this whole character moment motivation thing with Sofia was that Mitsurugi commented that Sofia is now supposedly much more powerful than before, as he's made a statement that Makoto wouldn't be an issue in the way that Sofia is now. So I assume that she has done something to herself, or something has happened, that she has gained a lot of more power in some way. How exactly? No idea. But I'm very interested to see how that might turn out when she gets her inevitable rematch with Makoto. And of course, how Makoto will still mop the floor with them, but still, of course, it will be fun to see what she has up her sleeve. If you're enjoying the video, by the way, and have gotten this far in it, then please also do consider liking and subscribing. It greatly helps the channel out, and I thank you greatly for everyone that does so. Thank you. Now, in the last parts of this video, I want to talk a slight bit about the Demiplane and Tomoe. Now, I do keep finding the sort of evolution of the Demiplane very interesting. It's sort of a mechanic that isn't really used much in anime, but I really love how this sort of self-evolving space of existence, whatever you want to call it, just keeps becoming more and more sentient in a way, with now having its own wildlife that somehow evolved from Makoto's mind, etc, or power, and how these wildlife are also sentient, which is very interesting. This also, of course, begs the question for me of how expansive is this Demiplane? And it seems endless with its size. And I suppose they mentioned that the Demiplane size is approximate to the amount of power that Makoto has. So in that case, the Demiplane, I suppose, is insanely massive. Basically, it's just massive as That also begs the question to me of, okay, what else might be hiding out there, or is yet to evolve that we might find out about later in the massive Demiplane? As a final note, I did quite appreciate the very small moments of Tomoe and Makoto in this episode. Clearly, of course, Tomoe really caring for Makoto and wanting to sort of maintain that special relationship, seen in the moments where she gets jealous when Makoto calls everyone his follower, but then revising it. Of course, only, Mio and Shen and Shiki are his actual followers due to the contracts he's made with them. But yeah, I did just enjoy those small moments between those two, and I like seeing the waifu wars develop, as always. I have to say, though, that that single moment when Makoto says he likes dragons, and instantly Shen being like, oh, you like dragons? Let me just casually undress halfway. I got a dragon right here, baby. Okay, Shen. Okay, relax. Breathe. No breathing yet, okay? Not this episode. Anyhow, though, as an episode, I thought it was good. I really quite liked the backstory we got on Sofia. And as with every other episode, I do generally quite enjoy the season of TSUKIMICHI. If you enjoyed this video, or my thoughts, my comments, this episode as a whole, wherever it may be, feel free to say so in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video so much you want to watch another video from my channel, you can click on the video hovering on the screen right now. With all that being said, I hope you have a nice day, keep watching anime, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.